Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua, and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, SDLP denies leaking names of MPs under investigation. Climate change action remains priority. And pandemic continues to affect small businesses.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party has denied that anyone from within the party revealed the names of the 8 members of parliament who are being investigated by the Fiji Independent Commission against Corruption. This has led to more questions about how the names were leaked, since FICAC has told FBC News that it does not divulge these details during the course of the investigation. Edwin Nunn reports.
SDLP and FICAC both deny releasing the names of the 8 MPs to the Fiji Sun.
We also took the position that we weren't going to name them publicly. The fact that they're on the front page of the newspaper, well, what can we say? Anything that's confidential finds its way to the newspapers.
At least one MP named in the list has spoken out. Aseri Randrondro says splashing his name and picture on the front page denies him natural justice as he's not been charged.
I don't think there is any need to, because there is a need to publish names, and I stand by what the party has released earlier.
Others being investigated by FICAC are Ratu Naingama Lalambalavu, Andilitiang Nyoni Baravi, Salote Randrondro, Moses Sembulitavu, Ratu Suliano Matanitombua, Pedeli Wosanimbola, and Simeone Rasova. It's alleged these MPs, along with Vijendra Prakash of Fiji First, breached the Parliamentary Remuneration Act by applying for and receiving travel and accommodation allowances when they did not qualify.
We will cooperate with the rule of law. We promote transparency and accountability. It is regretful that we found ourselves in this position, but our members and the public, of course, are innocent until proven guilty.
As a parliamentarian, I welcome an investigation on the basis that no one is above the law. And all I can say right now is assure my full cooperation with the investigation.
Party General Secretary Emilien Duituturanga says their stand is that the MPs are innocent until proven guilty. FICAC officers yesterday searched the SDLP office in Suva, taking with them documents relating to party registration and the addresses of the MPs in question. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Fiji cannot afford to drop the climate change action from its national agenda, even with the serious health and economic challenges of COVID-19, says Prime Minister Vurengem Bainimarama. Speaking at the opening of a new vetiver grass nursery in Lambasa yesterday, Bainimarama highlighted we cannot let climate action be a casualty to COVID-19. Eleanor Tarangai View reports.
Climate change, which is Fiji's greatest threat, did not and has not paused for COVID-19. And a brutal reminder of this was when TC Harold hit Fiji in the midst of the virus outbreak. Prime Minister Vurengem Bainimarama says this calls for continued action despite the challenges Fiji is going through due to COVID-19.
That all goes to show both the urgency and the impact of building our resilience to the rising seas, stronger storms and changing weather patterns. Even with the serious health and economic challenges of COVID-19, Fiji cannot afford for climate action to fall on our national agenda, particularly when it comes to adapting our economy.
The Prime Minister adds that any effort to recover the Fijian economy cannot excuse a renewed assault on ocean ecosystems, adding that no nation, including Fiji, can risk returning to overfishing, unprotected oceans, and to the pollution of our natural environment.
Nor can we allow climate action to fall casualty to COVID-19. Instead, we must keep the course. We must lead with big ideas on the international stage and empower local communities to carry that vision forward at the grassroots level.
Opening a new vetiver grass nursery in Lambasa, Bainimarama stresses that government is increasingly looking to our environment to protect communities from climate impacts like erosion, flooding and sea level rise as part of adaptive measures.
This nursery will consistently grow high-quality vetiver grass planting slips. creating a sustainable cycle of resilience building that will steadily help adapt the North to climate impacts.
Across Fiji, newly planted fields of vetiver grass are already staving off floodwaters in more than 30 communities. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Small, micro and medium enterprises continue to be the worst hit as the global coronavirus pandemic continues to take its toll. A survey by the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation shows that many businesses in Suva and Nadi have shut down as it was no longer viable to continue operation under current circumstances. 67 employers took part in the survey. Josai Nanunga with the details.
Businesses in the tourism sector are the worst affected.
A lot of customers depended on the tourism. When the tourism went down, they went down also, because now there's no more tourism. And because the workers in the hospitality industry were now not earning any money and not buying anything, the demand of their goods went down.
The survey reveals that 64% of enterprises did not have any form of business continuity plan to assist them to keep afloat during times of crisis.
So we conducted a training. We also, for those who needed assistance with BCP, they reached out to us, and with the help of BLP funding, we were able to provide some support to our members.
The Federation is putting together strategies that will guide the businesses.
Been a lot of businesses, you would have seen the markets in Nandi and even in Osori or even at the Suvarok market, that's been a hit. So for these important not only for small businesses but also for startups and for those workers who have lost businesses.
An estimated 37.31% of the 67 businesses remain optimistic that their operations will return to normalcy over the next 91 to 180 days. Josai Nanunga, FBC News.
Fiji has massive potential in building a robust aquaculture industry, and mabe or half-pearl culture may be one of the best opportunities for business development in isolated islands. The Prime Minister highlighted this while handing the cheque of over $20,000 to the Navatandua Women's Group in Ravi Ravi Madawata for the sale of their mabe pearls. Eleanor Turangaivu reports.
Payment for part of the third harvest of mabe or half-pearl, a business venture these women of Ravi Ravi village in Madawata have been in now for almost a decade.
For me as a Prime Minister, the most beautiful part of this project is that it's been spearheaded every step of the way by resilient, creative and ambitious Fijian women. Women who took it into their own hands to improve their own lives, the lives of their families, and the economy of Fiji as a whole.
The women's group harvested around 7,000 half-pearls at the end of last year. Over 1,000 was recently bought by a business in Ba. The rest of the half-pearls will be made into jewelry by the women and sold from the village.
To these business women, and you can wear that title proudly because you've earned it, you are part of the key drivers of this growing industry. It was your willingness, your confidence, your work and your passion that have made this pet collection program a resounding success.
The Prime Minister adds the success of the women of Ravi Ravi should be an inspiration to other communities.
To
produce half-pearls, oysters are cultured by inserting a half-dome nucleus on the inside of the shell. It is then put back out to sea and harvested after 7 to 12 months. These shells are then processed to make jewelry. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Up ahead, Frank Hilton receives new mobility devices and new boat to help villagers protect the ngolingoli.
Radio Fiji 1, Nandomo Iviti.
Children challenged by disabilities will find life easier thanks to the donation of wheelchairs and other aids from CLASP, a U.S. aid-funded project. Frank Hilton Organization Director Sereni Pereira, while receiving children mobility aids this morning, says such aids will assist the children in participating fully in school and at home. Sainiani Boiler reports.
The Frank Hilton Organization received $40,000 worth of wheelchairs, crutches and other aids to help children to increase their ability to live a better life.
Home environments are yet not fully accessible, and we do have challenges in the dwellings, the homes. Many are in settlements. Many other homes also, when they are built, they're not built with accessibility.
Fiji Spinal Injury Association President Josko Waganiasi says the donation will help the organization to fulfill its functions and obligations.
Which is, early intervention, to children. So it's identification and intervention on what they've identified, to making and providing opportunities for children to participate on an equal basis with other kids out there.
The Frank Hilton Organization, along with screening children for disabilities, has fitted 120 children with wheelchairs according to the World Health Organization standards. Sainiani Boila, FBC News.
The people of Mali and Madawata can now safeguard their Ngoli after receiving a new fiberglass boat and engine by Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama. The over $23,000 boat and engine were handed over to the Mali Development Committee and the Ngoli Dhokovata owners to monitor poaching and illegal fishing in their waters. Mali District Representative Seru Mode says the boat will not only help them with surveillance, but will also generate extra income. The villagers had raised concerns about poaching with the Minister for Environment a month ago.
It has been a serious concern of we Ngoli owners, and not only here in Mali, within the Ngoli Dhokovata, within the Madawata province, this has been a problem. So we are so thankful that we are within a month, the government and through the Ministry of Environment and through its ministers managed to seek fund and purchase.
The Fijian Broadcasting Corporation's radio stations mark their 66th anniversary this week. Radio Programs Manager Shami Lochin Lal says FBC has grown massively over the years, ensuring they're staying relevant with the changing times. Lal adds FBC's 6 radio stations continue to produce new programs to keep its audience engaged and informed, especially in times of crisis.
We have extended, we have grown so much. Fijian Broadcasting Corporation not only has 6 dynamic radio stations, we have got AM stations too on AM frequencies, which is Gold FM and Radio Fiji 1. We have very strong signals on FM frequency. We have television station, we have Studio 69, our production house, and a lot happening.
And turning overseas, the US has seen a surge in COVID-19 with more than 50,000 cases of the virus reported in just 24 hours, a new daily record. It comes as some of the state's restrictions ease and bars and restaurants reopen. But the country's top health experts say the lack of masks wearing is behind the spark in evictions. This is Business Time now with Whitney.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up in business tonight, tourism rakes in over $2 billion revenue. And in growing Fiji, new butcher opens in Nandi. Stay with us.
हाय हम शायर प्रकाश बात करता है तावा में मिर्ची एफएम सब कंसर्न एंड मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
Leading business, the tourism industry raked in over $3 billion in revenue last year. Findings from the 2019 Annual International Visitor Survey shows tourists spent $992 million on accommodation. International airfares totaled $901 million, while tourists spent $606 million on restaurants and bars. Permanent Secretary for Tourism Shaheen Ali says, while travel and tourism have come to a grinding halt Owing to the pandemic, the survey provided invaluable context to help shape Fiji's tourism recovery. Ali says it's noteworthy that Fiji reached its 2.2 billion target ahead of its 2021 as initially anticipated. ExxonMobil Corporation's oil and gas production and refining businesses expect to reopen operating losses for the second quarter of this year. Exxon faces a loss of 2.3 billion or 57 cents per share. Sharon from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the stock market.
The risk-sensitive Australian dollar has been supported by positive macroeconomic indicators this week. Retail sales rose 16.9% in May, with online sales alone contributing 10.1%, according to data released today. This uplift in turnover is due to the gradual reopening of stores and the continued online retail boom. Meanwhile, in the US, their labor market made greater progress than expected. The unemployment rate fell to 11.1%, down from a peak of 14.7% in April. The US government said employers added nearly 5 million workers to payrolls in June. However, the unemployment rate is still higher than in any previous period since World War II. And in Europe, their shares closed at a one-week high. Encouraging economic data from across the globe and hopes of a COVID-19 vaccine boosted market sentiment. And that's all from HFC Bank for this week. Vinaka.
Turning to today's exchange rates as set this morning. It was a good day for the Fiji dollar on the global money markets. The Sanghamoli gained on all the other currencies we cover, with the exception of the New Zealand dollar. On the commodities market, crude oil prices rose above the significant $40 a barrel mark. Gold rose as well, hitting the $1,776 per ounce, and silver closed down at $17.99 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, the opening of a new business in Nadi town today indicates the strong confidence investors have despite the current pandemic. Nadi Town Council Chief Executive Greg Powell says Amgul Halal Meat's new butcher shop highlights the importance of supporting local investors. Felipe Naikaso has more.
New businesses such as this butcher will provide financial stimulus on the economy.
For this wonderful investment in Nadi Town at a time when, as you said, business is hard. I'm a firm believer now that, we have to support and encourage our local investors.
Powell is also encouraging more locals to invest and seek assistance from the relevant authorities.
The interesting thing is, though, is whilst there are some opening, I have to be honest, there are also some closing. And so we have to see how we can help those businesses.
Around $90,000 has been invested by the company and a total of 4 new employment opportunities created.
I have confidence in economic and the staff we're going to keep, the meat that we have and quality. I know that we just want to support our local people.
This is the company's second branch, with the first in Suva, and plans are to open the third shop in Singotoka soon. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
That's it from Business Tonight. We now join Aquila with the latest in sports.
Good evening. Up ahead, more 7 stars to join Stallions, and jet setters' fitness are concerned. This and more in sports after the break.
My name is Enrico. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Suva.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
More Fiji Sevens reps are expected to join Nandronga for the Skipper Cup this season. National coach Gareth Baber met with Nandronga Rugby Union President Tiko Matawalu on Wednesday to accommodate the players in the Skipper Cup since the World Series has been cancelled. One of the players that Baber is interested in is Peveli Navembe. The Fiji Rugby Union conducted its first World Rugby Strength and Conditioning Coaches course at the ANZ Stadium in Suva earlier today. The course was attended by provincial coaches and referees as part of the union's preparations for the Skipper Cup competition on the 25th of July. The 2-day course is made up of 4 modules focusing on functional screening, conditioning, programming and planning. FRU strength and conditioning coach Nadhani Dhawani Mbuka says through the courses, coaches will be able to better prepare the athletes for the season ahead.
So we're running here the conditioning for adults course in strength and conditioning, probably one of the very first to be rolled out globally. This is actually the new modules, the new course that's been prepared by World Rugby. So what we have running here is conditioning for adults course, and our participants are actually the skipper SNC coaches.
The first Southern Derby in Super Rugby Aotearoa is set to raise the temperature in Dunedin this weekend. The undefeated Crusaders will head into the match as favourites, but a good hard look in the mirror has prompted a major turnaround for the Highlanders. The fitness is a challenge facing all district football teams when returning to the field for training. Nadi and Navua football sides head into their second phase of training this week with a focus on body conditioning and getting the players back to the form they were in pre-pandemic. Tali Mateira Kula reports.
Both coaches feel their teams have some work to do before kickoff.
Because I think the fitness is really down, so that they have that match fitness and they are able to play a full game for the 90 minutes. And yes, of course, their ball control is also very bad now because they did not train. So we need to work on those lines.
The lockdown for those 3 months and players are not active in sports. During the first day of training, I can see that there's a lot of weight. We did take some measurements, and most of them, they really gain weight.
But it's double trouble for the jet setters with financial constraints hindering their preparation.
Players who have lost their job and then they don't have fare to come to training. Plus, the sponsors have pulled out. We cannot cater for the allowance and all those things. So these are some of the things that players and their families are facing now. And of course, yes, about the association, they are facing the same problem.
The Vodafone Premier League resumes next Saturday with Ba hosting Navua at the Fiji FA Academy grounds. The Jet Setters face Ba on the 22nd of this month. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
Liverpool's Premier League title-winning celebrations were slightly dampened as they were thrashed 4-0 by former champions Manchester City this morning. City's goals were scored by Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling and Phil Foden, while their fourth was an own goal. 2 field goals were landed in the dying seconds of the Storm and Roosters NRL clash last night, but the Storm converted a penalty in extra time to beat the defending champions 27-25 in a great comeback. In today's play of the day, Sheffield United picked up their first win since the Premier League restarted as they produced a hugely impressive display against Tottenham to keep alive their hopes of playing European football next season. United's record signing Sanderbird netted his first goal for the club with a neat finish in the first half, completing a fine attacking move by the hosts. That's it from Sports Tonight. In the world of the weird and the wonderful, Japan has created autonomous chairs to help passengers to the departure gate while maintaining social distancing. Details after the break.
Bula FM, number 2 and seri.
In new media tonight, advocacy groups from the United States, Europe, Latin America and elsewhere have signed a statement urging regulators to be wary of Google's $2.1 billion bid to buy the fitness tracker company Fitbit due to competition concerns. Angie joins us now with all the latest from the weather world.
Ni hao and welcome to the weather world. It's finally Friday and there is absolutely no drawbacks because the weekend is here. How cool is that? Speaking of cool, the weather is cool like that, and don't we just adore that? Looking over to the west, it's amazing and a little different here. Instead of gloomy conditions, sunshine is brighter and nicer. Eastwards from Back Harbour to Suva, total opposite here. It's overcast and rainy. Expect another cold night. And up north, The weather here is settling to more relaxed conditions. What more do we need? At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, high tide at 11:06 p.m. with low tide at 5:23 a.m. Sunrise at 6:38. For tomorrow, the conditions will ease, leaving off sunnier spells. Well, time to throw our mattresses out in their sun. Tomorrow's temps, Suva and Nandi will be quite cool at 29 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, more clear spells will drool again. That's a weekend tip-off. Have a great one. That's all from the weather news. It's back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji on Pulse tonight, we asked, should the Fiji Rugby Union extend Gareth Baber's contract?
Yes, I think Gareth Baber's contract should be extended because he knows the boys really pretty well, so that he can lead the boys in the Olympics next year.
He has showed his interest in coaching the team to the Olympics, and I think we should give him a chance.
Yeah, it should be. He's a very good coach.
I think his contract should be extended because getting a new coach now will affect the players' preparation for the Olympic Games next year.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, SDLP denies leaking names of MPs under investigation. Climate change action remains priority, and pandemic continues to affect small businesses. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking, should the COVID-19 curfew be kept until the end of the year? Visit our FBC website to answer. And before we go, our shot of the day and last one for this week. Beautiful blue skies captured by Sanjay Narayan at Korolevu in Singatoka. And you can send us pictures to FBC News at fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
हम विनल प्रकाश है, गोल्टन तामो में रहता है और सबको रेडियो फीजी 2 सुने, सबको लाइक करे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।